What's going on, Legionnaires, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, for this video, we're going to be diving into Batman Detective Comics issue 1035. And if you haven't been keeping up with this line, go ahead and check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's going to get you completely caught up on everything that's been going on in this super awesome Batman line. Now, this is written by Mariko Tamiki. Pencils are by Clayton Henry and Dan Mora. Inks are the same and colored by Jordi Belair. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so in the last issue, we left off with a Miss Worth being kidnapped. Now Miss Worth, she's the daughter of one of the most powerful individuals in Gotham City. Their family essentially built half of Gotham City. And so right now, there is police at her house questioning her husband, trying to figure out exactly what happened. But Batman, he knows the truth about this. He knows that when people go missing in Gotham, they usually never return. They're usually gone. But Batman is doing his best to try to investigate exactly what is happening here. And this is when we pick up at Gotham City Hall. And the mayor, he's just finding out exactly what's happening. He's finding out that Sarah Worth has been kidnapped. And so Batman, he does some more investigations, trying to figure out exactly who might do this. You know, for him, it seems unlikely that Sarah's disappearance was the act of one of Gotham's crime organizations. But he doesn't want to rule that out because the Worth family, they're a big target. But big targets usually come with huge ransoms. And that's something that they haven't gotten so far. So whoever's doing this, they're messy. Which means they might not have gotten too far out of the area. And so Batman sits here and he continues to monitor police radios, emergency lines, and city workers for information. And this is when he gets a report from city workers talking about a manhole cover that has been tampered with. And this is where we see Batman making his way through the tunnels. You know, he picked his townhouse in Fort Gray specifically because the garage could connect to all of these tunnels. And these tunnels connect to all of Gotham City. Now, right now, Sarah Worth, she was taken between 3 a.m. and when her partner had last messaged at 6:30 a.m. The security cameras next to the front door don't seem to cover Sarah's front steps, but it does cover the street. So whoever took her didn't bring a getaway vehicle. So it's safe to assume that if someone were to kidnap her and they can't find a getaway, the logical place would be to go down into the sewers. Now, up on the surface, the police, they're getting reports that there's blood traces going down into this manhole. And so they want to send all of the cops down there as soon and as fast as possible. But Batman's already here, and he already knows what happened. And Batman stands in front of Sarah's dead body, and he estimates that she hasn't been here long. But he asks why. Why here? You know, this place is hidden, but it's not that hidden. Not hidden from anyone that's actually looking. Even Gotham's police would eventually find this place, and that's exactly what happens. He hears the water footprints. He hears them coming through the sewers, and this is kind of looking like a setup. It's kind of looking like they want it to look like Batman is the one who did this. But Batman doesn't get an opportunity to get away in time before the police already make their appearance, and they immediately just start opening fire on him. And this is where Batman, he has to plow right through the crime scene. It's going to make it much harder to catch this killer, but I mean, what other option does he have? And he's making his way. He takes a gray shot that makes him bleed a little bit and takes another round, but it ricochets and it ends up hitting one of the police officers. And Batman, he's able to make his escape. He gets out of these sewers and makes sure that they can't follow behind him. And so things are not looking good for Batman. You know, right now, the mayor has this huge manhunt out for anybody wearing a mask, to include the Batman. And not only that, but now it's kind of looking like someone's trying to set Batman up. Try to make it look like he had something to do with this. Now, this is when we're taken to the funeral, and they're marking the passing of Sarah Worth. Now, it's a funeral minus a body. because right now it's still part of the criminal investigation. You know, and everybody shows up to these things, especially when it's somebody like the Worth name. It's not even a matter of them showing support, it's a matter of them showing up because they need to show up. You know, just like they would for a gala or anything else. It's a matter of status. But Mr. Worth, he gets up here and he lets everybody know, you know, someone in this city took his daughter, took his child from him, and until he knows who did it, he has no words of mourning, no words about loss for anyone in this city to hear. Until he knows who did this, there is nothing for him to say. Because right now, his daughter is gone, and nothing is going to be right until he has justice. Now, Sarah's murder is Gotham's 10th in the last 2 months. And it makes Batman wonder, you know, is Gotham's crime families flexing? Are they trying to shake up power? You know, could it possibly be the mayor? He has been making efforts very valiantly to try to make connections, to try to make friends. But while the mayor and Mr. Worth sit down and have a discussion, we pick up with Sarah's partner, Sam. You know, he left the funeral early. He kind of just disappeared. And he hasn't shown up for work in days. Something's wrong with this guy. Now, Des spotted him leaving his and Sarah's apartment with a gun. And this is where Batman catches up with him. And he threatens to kill Batman. He pulls the gun out. He's like, yo, like, leave me alone or I will end up shooting you. But Batman, he also understands what this guy's going through. He's just like, yo, listen, like, Sam, like, I know what you've lost. I understand what you're going through. And this is when Batman quickly disarms him and throws his arms behind his back. You know, we can see in his eyes, he is ready to kill somebody. He's ready to hurt somebody to get some kind of justice for what he has lost. Now, Batman drops Sam off in jail. You know, it's really just the best place for him to be right now. Let him cool down, get a level head, and because Batman he can't babysit him right now. He can't keep an eye on him, and he's obviously going to do something reckless. But this is when we pick up the next morning at 5 a.m. because there is a rush order to fill the southwest tunnel under 1st Street with concrete. Now, this just so happens to also be the location of Sarah Worth's murder. Forensics has been delayed for quite some time, and the site was declared a health hazard by the city. So now the whole tunnel is concreted in. The kind of final nail in the coffin, if you will, of any kind of possibility of having an investigation on the physical evidence that was laying around. And so this makes Batman question, why obstruct the investigation? Does Sarah's death have some kind of connection to the mayor, or possibly even a cop? You know, something about this whole situation, it seems very strange. And this is when Batman, off in the distance, sees a random figure. And as this figure gets closer, it's moaning and groaning something. And as this individual comes into light, we see that this individual is Sarah Worth, looking like a freaking zombie. We can only assume that this has something to do with Hugo Strange. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, both the action comics and detective comics I've thoroughly been enjoying. These have been a ton of fun. And like I said in the last video, you know, these all are interconnecting in really amazing ways to their future state events that we saw happen over the last couple months. And so this is all build up. This is all build up to the magistrate coming in. This is build up to Hugo Strange doing all of his crazy scientific doctor stuff. This is all our build up for the beginning of the downfall of Gotham City. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. How are you liking the artwork? Is it something that's appealing to you? How are you enjoying the story? Personally, I really am enjoying these stories. I've never been the biggest Batman fan because I feel like he's overrated a lot of the time. You know, he's just, you know, he's DC's go-to, him and Superman. So, you know, I kind of try to stay clear of that whole bandwagon, if you will. But these Batman stories, man, there's a reason that they put out so many Batman lines. It's because they make great Batman stories, and this is one of them, and I'm super excited to see how all of this plays out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown,